This podcast is designed to inspire and propel you to a newfound level of empowerment and clarity. Through cultivating the art of thinking, you'll learn how to detangle your thought knots and train your brain to break through obstacles. You'll learn to focus on what matters most and make effective choices to become a remarkable you. Hello everyone, my name is Pamela Pitcher and welcome to my podcast. As a master of neurolinguistic programming, a motivational coach, and a hypnotherapist, I'll be sharing tips, tools, and techniques to help you awaken to the best you. Having flexibility of perspective will not only help you develop a growth mindset, it will also help enormously with your relationships both at home and at work. To have the ability to understand another's perspective is a great gift. It denotes curiosity, and that will lead you to continue to grow. And for others, I personally think it is one of the greatest expressions of love that we can offer. If you're taking the time to understand what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling, you are honoring me. And what a great gift for me. Every country and every culture has their own way of thinking, including beliefs and values, and yet regardless of who we are, all of us have universal needs and desires, a common one being the need to be understood. Unfortunately, people often expend their energy proving others wrong, imposing their own lens of the world on others instead of trying to understand them. My friend Carlos is a foodie and a wine sommelier who lives in San Francisco. I love San Francisco. I spent 5 years there and it was a great joy. And two of the reasons it was such a great joy was the fabulous choice of restaurants and the wonderful wine from wine country. I'm not one of those people for whom food is simply fuel. I appreciate food and wine, and I think it's something to be savored and appreciated and enjoyed. So one time when I was visiting San Francisco there doing a couple of workshops, Carlos and I went to dinner. And he said, "You've got to try this new hamburger restaurant. It has the best hamburgers in the world." And I don't eat much meat, but I do like a good burger from time to time. So I was game. We got to the restaurant and we were given the wine list. And on the wine list, I went, "Oh, great, they've got J." J is my favorite Pinot Noir, comes from the Russian River Valley. The label's just J, and to me, it's the best Pinot Noir in the world. But Carlos said, "Hey, they've got this other one, and trust me, I think we should order this one because you'll like it. It's much better." Well, I was a little disappointed because I was only there for a couple of weeks, but Carlos knows his stuff, so I said, "Sure." The wine came, it was kind of chilly. And not in a spicy way. I mean, it was cold. And I made a comment about that. And he said, "Well, where have you been eating? What restaurants have you been going to? Don't you know that red wine is always served cold?" Well, this was probably a new trend. And I said, "No, it's typically not. It's typically served at room temperature where I've been." He goes, "Oh no, you've got to wrap your hands around the bowl of the wine glass and then the bouquet will start to permeate up your nose once the wine warms up, etc., etc., etc." Fine, the wine was fine. It was good wine, but I still liked my J better. Anyway, the burger came and we started eating it. And he's like, "Isn't this like the best burger ever?" And I'm like, "No, actually, because I ordered it medium rare. No, I ordered it medium well. It came medium rare. I don't like pink meat, hate blood. And I wasn't crazy about the sauce. And I like a thin, crispy French fry, like you get in France. But it was kind of soggy. So I didn't think they were the best burgers in the world. And I was kind of getting annoyed because of how condescending he was about the wine. And, the burger wasn't the best. He didn't agree that it wasn't the best burger. And so I could have gotten into a debate with him. But I chose not to because he's a good friend, and I did two things. In my mind's eye, I stepped into Carlos's shoes. He's a sommelier, a food aficionado. He works in that industry. He knows his stuff. This is his world, and debating about it wasn't going to do either of us any good. When it comes to food and wine, he is an expert. He is righteous about it, and he has excellent taste. He's taken me for many great meals over the years and made wonderful suggestions of restaurants to go to. Then I did a second thing. I stepped into a perceptual position that I like to call observer. I stepped out of myself. I stepped out of Carlos's shoes, and I just looked at me and looked at Carlos having this little tete-a-tete with objectivity. Because that is what observer is, kind of like a monk. There is no emotion. It's just looking at the body language of the people talking. It's looking at how I'm reacting. Isn't that interesting? You know, it's looking at the tone of voice and all the interaction between two or more individuals. I stepped out of myself and looked at me and Carlos with objectivity, because I respect him and his knowledge. And San Francisco, it's his town, and it's important to him. Being right about the burger and the wine was way more important to him than it was to me. Was I enjoying the wine? Yes. Was I enjoying the burger? Yes. I just wasn't enjoying being told that they were better than one of my favorites. But an observer, I just decided to let it go, because my friendship with Carlos was more important than having an argument over something that was actually of little importance to me in the big picture. He needed to demonstrate his knowledge, and I get that, and I appreciate that. Being able to step into somebody else's shoes is a great way of understanding what's going on with that person. So say your partner comes home from work late without having phoned you at all and let you know they're going to be late. You could get angry, you could jump up and down or jump down their throat when they walk in the door, or step in their shoes and calmly ask, "Oh, why were you late?" Perhaps their boss kept them working on a project. Perhaps they got a flat tire. Perhaps they were buying you your birthday gift. We just don't know. An observer is a great way to diffuse emotion. So if you're having difficulty in a relationship, to step into observer can be really powerful. Instead of going back over a fight you had and getting upset about it as you remember it from the perspective of that memory, when you communicate with that person next, you can step into observer, your Zen monk of your personality, and see, hear, and feel what's going on with the two of you as you communicate. You will undoubtedly realize something about the two of you that you didn't before. Then ask yourself, what strength do I have that I can bring to the situation in the future to make it better? Perhaps it's my humor. That's what I did with Carlos. I decided to laugh about it. I decided, why am I getting all worked up? I can have Jay tomorrow. Anyway, in observer, I question my thoughts and note the ones that are no longer serving me. So often, I do it automatically now because I step into observer a lot, because I find it's a very powerful thing to do. For me, it's the key to emotional intelligence and will help you rewrite the software of your mind. You can end disagreements and create win-wins by speaking into the driving need of the person you're talking to. You won't know their driving need unless you step into their shoes. And then step into observer, so you ascertain that if what you're saying to them is actually hitting home and meeting that driving need. And remember, the need to be understood will always be there. This single lesson will lighten your load time and again. Disagreements often begin with our imagination. There we are, sitting on the couch, or maybe sitting in the kitchen, at home, having a cup of tea, thinking about that meeting we have tomorrow. Then we start thinking about what could go wrong, thinking about what the other person will do to us, what awful things they might say, or that they won't understand us. And we often get ourselves all worked up into such a tizzy, and nobody else is in the room with us. So here's a handy tidbit to know. Your unconscious mind, which represents 90% of your mind, doesn't know the difference between what is real or what is imagined. Your unconscious mind communicates to you through motion, not words, feelings, stress, anxiety, happiness. So if you think bad thoughts, argumentative, combative thoughts, you're going to feel bad. If you think good thoughts, you'll feel good. It's that simple. You don't know what the other person is thinking, and you don't know how they will react, so let go of the illusion and bring more peace into your life by bringing a desire for understanding to your interactions. As far as criticism about my dining choices from Carlos, I'd like to turn personal criticism into a change agent. If you respect and value the person who criticized you or your hamburger, sorry, couldn't resist, use their comments as information to grow by. And if you don't respect them, let their comments fall off your shoulders. I did realize that I was pretty darn set in my ways as to the Pinot Noir I drink when I'm in California, based on my conversation with Carlos. So it was good for me to be open to drinking another kind. I complimented Carlos on his choice, and about the burger I said, I can understand why you love this burger. For me, my favorite burger will always be the one at the Rutherford Grill in the Napa Valley because it's grilled over mesquite, and that's my thing. A person can make powerful realizations and create inner shifts for the good by looking at a given situation from another perspective. It will help raise your game and increase your mental clarity and focus. Thank you for listening today. And next time I have a special treat for you, a guided meditation where I engage your unconscious mind to help you increase your flexibility of perspective. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please remember to subscribe and share across social media. I'd really appreciate that. And I'd also love to see your thoughts. So please send your feedback my way so I know how to help you the most. Thank you again. Ciao for now.